audience the authenticity and trust. Your clients want to trust you that you know what you're talking about. You're delivering a product that they need. You're trying to get into the mind and psychology behind the customer. And by doing that, as filmmakers, we can smell BS a mile away. So when we have a customer that's trying to be a certain type, we're like, cut that out, cut all the fluff, get to the point. You have 10 seconds, maybe even 3 realistically, to capture and captivate your audience's thought process. So let's do it. Let's do it right. Get rid of all the fluff in the beginning.
Hello, Empower Nation. Welcome to Empower Her Money podcast. I am your host, Angela Duncan, speaker, best-selling author, serial entrepreneur, and we talk all things money and business. Today's episode is sponsored by freemoneytipsbook.com, freemoneytipsbook.com. Head over there and download your free book, 7 Steps to Get You Started on Your Financial Journey. Today's episode, I am interviewing Stefani, and she's with MaiTie Productions. She has an incredible backstory, and she's going to teach us about content creating for your business. Hello, Empower Nation. Welcome to Empower Her Money podcast. I am excited for take 2. We're going to try this again. Stefani, how are you today?
Doing great. Thanks, Angela. How are you doing?
Doing awesome. I am in Miami, and thankfully the weather is not pouring rain. I have internet. I have the electric on today. So we're going to try this podcast again.
It's going to be perfect. It's going to be even better this time.
Yeah. So start with your story. Tell me about all of the amazing things that you have done and kind of what has led you up to what you're doing today.
Wow, that's a very long story. Okay, let's see if I can shorten this up. Since a little kid, I've always wanted to do entertainment industry, something in the film industry. I just knew at a young age it was what I needed to do in my life to help people and to reach the masses. So my life was kind of already set up for me. I was really involved with theater and acting, and I almost bought a house in 2008 before the market crashed. And I said, if this house falls through, I'm moving to California and I'm going to live my dream. Well, the house fell through and I packed up all my stuff, moved to California, and ended up just throwing myself into the deep end of the entertainment industry out there. And I got really lucky. I had a lot of really good people that mentored me along the way. And slowly my acting dream and wanting to be in front of the camera switched. And I thought, maybe I want to be behind the camera. I enjoy the business part of it better. And I'm type A, and I find that this is a really strong place that I like to thrive. And a friend was like, hey, come produce this series for me. And I said, all right, I'll give it a try. Whatever. I've never done it before. And we produced a series. And next thing you know, this company called Hulu came out and they were looking for content. And we had a series ready to go. And so we were the first independently produced web series to get picked up by Hulu. And that's kind of where the story really starts. From then I was like, okay, I want to do documentary filmmaking. So we made a film and it got sold to Netflix. Then I thought, well, I'm helping the masses, but I think I can help businesses even more with this storytelling aspect. So I thought, let's figure out a way to translate it to help business owners. And now that's kind of where we are at the moment, is we are continuing to still make films and do what we want on the side while also helping businesses tell their story, because that's really where we thrive. And it seems to be helping a lot of people. And that's really our goal.
Awesome. And so it's saying yes to the right opportunities. That's crazy that early on this new thing called Hulu, which we all know what it is today, said, hey, come produce some content. And you're just like, okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I took a lot of what I had known from working with other networks, and I leaned on relationships. And they say it's not about who you know, it's about who knows you. And fortunately, I had created a nice buzz, and it was really nice. And it's still really fun. I think life is a journey. And like you said, say yes. Just say yes, because you never know where it's going to go.
Yeah. And your approach to life is incredible too. I know the first time I had the opportunity to meet you, you just have such energy and such positivity to you. It's like people just gravitate towards that. So I really appreciate that about you. So I can see why your clients love working with you as well. So talk about, this is a podcast about money and business. Getting into this field, obviously there's probably a lot of like unknown cost and things that perhaps you've learned along the way? So what are some things that you can share with the audience?
If we're going more into the content creation category of this, I would say invest in a really good phone. Start there because the cameras on the phones nowadays are really great. And unless you have the time to start learning the ins and outs of a Canon or a Nikon or a Sony, picking one up can be really intimidating. But most people have a phone in their pockets and it's a simple thing, and you can make a little adjustment here and there. Shoot in 4K or 8K. You are going to use more of the storage on your phone, but the quality will be better. And then when you translate that to social platforms, if you go into your advanced setting, there's a place where you can have it upload the content in the best settings. And so that's what you'll want to do. And your content will already set your competitors in the dust. So utilize on the resources that you currently have. And you can also use your phone as a tax write-off that way too for all the content that you're making. If you aren't doing that already, which everybody should, if you're a business owner, your phone should be a tax write-off. And then, like you said, here I'm sitting in a van right now and I'm utilizing the natural light. You don't have to invest in really fancy lights in the beginning. Use what God gave us, which is light. Use all that
Yeah.
stuff to your advantage.
Yeah, I
And
shoot
that's
a lot
free.
of,
That's free.
yeah, being in Miami, I shoot a lot of videos in the backyard when it's not raining because it's so much sunshine, like all the time the sun is here, so that's really good advice. Are there any apps or anything that you recommend for your clients when they're just starting off and perhaps they want to hire you to help them create more content or better content for them?
The editing process can be really tedious for a lot of people. And so I always recommend to try it on their own, because they get a little bit more of an understanding on our side, what we do out of business, but also because they can see how much time they're putting into something like CapCut or Lemon Cut or Premiere, and just download something, learn the basics. It's not too difficult to do. But when you're using these tiny screens and you're having to use big fingers to like scrunch, sometimes you make mistakes and it's very frustrating. So you can utilize, there are plenty of apps right now for editing and for chopping things up. But if you don't want to do that, you can always hire someone like us and we can just charge you an hourly rate. And what we can do in 30 minutes could take our clients a full day. So the advice would be journal on them maybe a 1 week and see how much time that is. And then think about what you charge per hour. Is it worth your time to do all this, where you could be out making more money doing what you do best? Turn it over to somebody like us where we do it best. We'll save you time and save you money.
Yeah, that's a great tip right there. Because I think a lot of time as business owners, we want to do everything because we think we're saving money, but really you're losing money because you could be generating income doing something that you absolutely don't enjoy, or it's just not your strength. That's something that you guys
Exactly.
do all the time for your clients. You do it in such a short amount of time, but like you said, the client could be taking a full day just to edit a video. That's really, a waste of their time. So that's
Mhm.
great advice too.
Thank
So
you.
you're in your van now. Talk a little bit about what you guys do and how you approach your business a little differently, I think, than some of the other agencies I've seen.
Yeah, we do. So what sets us apart specifically is that we are storytellers. And I tell our clients why you want to work with a storyteller versus a regular content creator is because storytellers will bring in authenticity and trust. What that does is that translates to your audience, the authenticity and trust. Your clients want to trust you, that you know what you're talking about. You're delivering a product that they need. You're trying to get into the mind and psychology behind the customer. And by doing that, as filmmakers, we can smell BS a mile away. So when we have a customer that's trying to be a certain type, we're like, cut that out, cut all the fluff, get to the point. You have 10 seconds, maybe even 3 realistically, to capture and captivate your audience's thought process. So let's do it. Let's do it right. Get rid of all the fluff in the beginning. And so
Yeah.
I think, and for us too, we bought this van. We traveled in it during COVID because we didn't know what was happening with the airlines. And this was just a regular cargo van. We built the whole thing out to a tiny home, and we went and saw all of our clients during COVID when the airline industry was stopped. And we actually had the best year of our careers because of it. And we got to write the van off. Like, this is a tax write off as well. So we will come to clients outside of where our base is, which is Destin, Florida. We'll travel to you. We'll tell your business a story. We will make you scale. And we also guarantee that, we have a really great case study with all of our clients that we do increase their income by at least 30% or more. And if that doesn't happen, then contact us. We're coming back. I honor my word. I'm a Southern girl, and if something's not working, let me know, because it has to work. It just works.
Yeah, and that story content you really hit on. I think I, that's very personal for me too. I want to know the person behind the brand. I want to know that they're a real person, that they're genuine, what they're saying is, who they are both on stage, off stage. So I'm sure that you can really help your clients like deliver like that whole package to be able to tell their story too, because sometimes we're, great business owners, but not always comfortable on camera. It really does take some practice or someone else like drawing it out from you. So when you're on
Yes.
set like that with somebody, talk about how you create that story, but maybe for someone who's not as comfortable on camera, like what do you do that kind of helps them so that you can get that story, but also so that your client is comfortable and be like being in front of that camera too.
I think you hit it on the head exactly. That is such a great point, and thank you for bringing it up because so often, actually, I'm not even gonna say often, every single client we work with, the first shoot we do, it's so uncomfortable for them. And I remind them and I encourage them and I say, look at so and so, because I always have testimonials from customers as well before I work with clients. I'm like, look at this person that we showed you. And then I show them what they looked like on our first shoot. I'm like, you are not alone. What you're going through is very normal, and it's our job to make this clip of you having 100 bloopers sound like it's the most perfectly said video that you've ever done in your entire life. And my husband is a brilliant editor. He can take the worst of shots and turn it into magic. He has this vision. I don't know how he does it. I always say he sees through a different lens than most people. And so when we're working with clients, we communicate along the way every single time. We spend time in discovery before we even show up on set. So we have an understanding of their product and their service. So when the camera starts rolling and they get uncomfortable and they forget what their name is, we have enough information to remind them, bring them back to center, and pull out the information that we need to best tell their story. And a lot of times there's stuff that comes up for clients that they're like, oh, I didn't even know that was there. Well, and we also come prepared. Like here's what we think would be best for your product, since we have a social media mindset as well. And we're editing as we go, so we know what needs to be filled in between. I think having compassion, being patient, reassuring, staying positive, reminding them that we're all human and it's not supposed to be perfect, just start. I think a lot of these coaching things while we're filming really helps the customer get comfortable. And then when they see the results when we're finished editing, and they all say, I don't know how you did that. I don't know how you turned that into this. Then it builds confidence. They start to trust us and they say, okay, now I know that I can mess up and it's okay because you're going to fix it. You're going to take out my ums and uhs and so you knows and all those verbal habits that we have as patterns. And we're going to make them seem like they're the expert in their audience. And so it's just translating. It's a lot of moving parts, but it works.
Yeah, and I like that you said just start. Sometimes they're nervous about just what do I put out there? What do I say? You're saying just start, do something, and making sure that it's out there. And the blooper reels, like when I've done recordings in the past, I love watching my blooper reels. It cracks me up, but I also like putting it out there because then other people know, like I make mistakes too. And, I'm not a professional at this. Even if I do this for 50 more years, I'm not going to be the professional. I'm still going to hire the professional, but the blooper reels, I'm sure is probably quite fun to put out as well.
Yeah. And Angela, I've been doing this for over 30 years. I mean, this is something that I still sometimes when the camera turns on, I'm like, oh gosh, I forgot what it's like to be in front of the camera. So you just have to practice and get comfortable and fail often. I know that's such a thing that people say a lot now, but it's so true. It's not going to be perfect. You're always going to learn. Every single time you turn the camera on and off, you're going to hear yourself. You're going to see yourself. You're going to get clearer on the message. You start repeating, you get repetitive, you create this momentum, and you're like, okay, this works. The audience is responding. Let's build on this little tree. Maybe this one didn't work. Let's negate this idea. Even though it was a great idea, we're not getting the response we want. We'll come back to it. So if something's working, mimic it, grow on it, build on it, and just continue on that path.
Yeah, so it's not a one-time thing for you. You're going to continue to work with the clients and then get back out there and record more content, more stories. So that's good to know too, because the one-time thing is great, but you got to be able to continue on that momentum as well.
And you look at your data, you look at your insights, you say what's working and what's not working. What is the audience responding to? Okay, this one went viral. Why? Is it because of the trending song we used? Is it the hashtags? Is it the message? Is it the video? And then if you start to kind of play around with it, go back to the drawing board, figure it out, play around, mold it again, send it back out. And then just, but like you said, it's not going to be perfect, and just get it out there. Just start somewhere, because right now you have no data to bounce off of. So you have no idea, and you're not going to know until you start. And it's going to be scary. Absolutely. But that's the joy in it. Have fun. Have fun in it.
Yeah.
Just like anything,
Yeah.
enjoy the process.
And I love that it's you and your husband working together. It's like you each have your individual strengths, but you bring it together, and it just creates so much more for the client experience as well.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, he brings a different aspect. I'm more type A business, and he's creative, and together it just
Yep.
it works.
Goes very well. So
Yeah.
where are you in 5 years? Where are you taking your company? What do you hope to accomplish in 5 years?
My goal, and David's goal, we've been talking about this recently, is we want to do a 5-part series. I can't tell you too much because we're in the pre-production phase. But the idea is to make it kind of a Nat Geo Blue Planet feel, but with a twist. Our goal is to help people see some sustainability opportunities that they can have, and we'll build upon it. Relatable, not so doomsday, just simple things that people can do on their daily basis to make a positive impact, instead of feeling like they don't have any options to help make the planet a better place.
Oh, I love that. If you need any extras, make sure to give me a call.
You are on my speed dial. I will be
Yay.
calling you for sure.
Hi, Stefani. So I have a fun question for you. If you could have a superpower, what would it be and why?
Great question, Angela. Great question. This is a fun one, but speaking of our 5-part series, my superpower would be, for every tree that was dug up or cut down, another tree is planted automatically right behind it. So we don't have this neglect on nature. Whenever something is taken away, it's replaced with something else. That would be my superpower with nature.
Oh, I love that. No, not everyone understands the importance of trees and what it gives to our environment and what it gives to us to live every day, right?
For sure. And it's the oxygen. The trees are the lungs of our planet. And if we take the trees and the plants away, you run out of your breath. And the breath is what is the force of life. So that's why I would pick planting trees when one is cut down or taken out.
Yeah, love that. Still, if our audience wants to get in touch with you to hire you, ask you more questions, what is the best way for them to reach you?
You can email us at MaiTieMedia at gmail.com, or you can follow us at MaiTie Media on Instagram, or MaiTie Productions.
And spell that out for the audience.
It's MaiTie, and then Productions with an S at the end. So, or media. And we went with that because MaiTie the drink, but it's spelled differently because it's business. It's a business up top with the tie, and it's a party down low with your drink. So we have fun, but we also can have a little party at the same time.
Sounds amazing. Well, I so appreciate your time today and all your nuggets about content. And I'm sure your clients very much appreciate you. Like I said, I loved meeting you in person, and I knew I just needed to have your energy and share it with the world as well. So I really appreciate your time today.
Thank you, Angela. Thank you for thinking of me and having me on, and for empowering women. I think it's so important, especially when it comes to the money mindset. You're killing it, and I'm just excited to watch your journey continue to thrive. You're doing such great things, and I thank you and honor you and appreciate everything that you're doing.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah. See you soon.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Empower Her Money podcast. Make sure you leave me a 5-star review, share this podcast, subscribe, and share the message.